All right. This is for anybody out there that is going through um, gang stalking or targeted individuals. First of all, I forgot to write this down. What is going on in your life is something called trouble or tribulation. Or it's also called in the Bible a fiery trial. Before I speak on this, I want you to understand that everyone in the world besides Jesus Christ has sinned. Everyone. And everything is created through sound. I want to teach you something about sound that you might not recognize. So, on the count of three, without physically saying this, in other words, like I'm talking right now and you hear my voice, do not say this like this. Say this with your mind. On the count of three, say, I found myself. 1, 2, 3. Okay. You said I found myself, but you didn't physically say I found myself. But you heard yourself say I found myself, but your ears never heard it. Alright? What does that teach us? What does that teach us? This is going to be very simple, and this is going to be very... This is how simple this is. You're going to say, oh, well, that's just me thinking. But you don't know what thinking is. So... And you don't understand how the spirit and flesh work and operate. First of all, you are not flesh. The real you are not a flesh body. You are not your meat suit. You are a divine creation, consciousness, living in a body that shares all the same senses, if not more, that your fleshly body does. So your spirit man has a voice, hears, everything that your fleshly body does, and more. So we have something that almost could be considered a spiritual law. I consider it a spiritual law, which is something called spiritual marriage. In the Bible, marriage was when two become one. Okay? The reason this is a spiritual law is because the whole universe works like this. So I want to explain what is going on with your mind and body, and why sometimes you could feel like a puppet. And I want you to understand that there are people out there that act as puppeteers and that understand these, and they are not good people. They are standing in unrighteous judgment, and you need to understand that God is there. And no matter how much they tell you, oh, we're doing this because we know that something we're trying, in other words, that their heart is good, but their actions might be, to see who you are, to try your whatever. God is control of everything. And some of these people might have real hate in their heart, they more than likely they've been lied to about you. And they are trying to move you. So you have to be unmovable and be still. Alright, and I want to explain why. If we take an atom, you take that atom and you cut that in half. We've done plenty of experiments, so we understand, but they don't. I'm trying to explain this and articulate this where you'll understand what's going on. Scientifically, if you take an atom that everything's made out of and you cut it in half, And now you have 2 more portions. And you separate those portions. Let's say one in the United States, one on the other side of the world. And you take a tuning fork and you hit the tuning fork and put it up to 1/2 of the atom. Simultaneously, without delay, the other atom will start vibrating at the same tone. Why is that? It's because there's a there's a energetic cord or connection that still resides within both of them, that they're still connected. They might look separated physically, but energetically or spiritually, they're not. So that's where we have all these atoms that come into cohesion, that are connected, that create individuals. But those individuals, through contract and understanding, are now sharing of one mind, one body, and one accord through a law called spiritual marriage. Okay? These people, when they operate, one gets hungry or one wants a cigarette, okay, all of a sudden you do. And you don't know why. You're like, I'm telling my body, or you have thoughts that aren't yours. It's because you have these watchers or these demons or whatever they are trying to drive your car or trying to look for a place to live. And the reason they do that is because they don't want the fingers pointing at them, because they are dirty. And if they're pointing their fingers at somebody else or lying about somebody else, it's not about them anymore. And then you have the other people that are just self-righteous, narcissistic people that get off on playing God, or being used by Satan and they don't know it. Anyway, that's the thing. That the trouble, tribulation, is someone trying to move you and trying to drive your car, and you don't let them. How you do that is through the right choices. Alright, on to the next video.